This is it. This is the review. This is a review that's going to get me 1 million subscribers. I can feel it. I did it. I found the film. I did it. I reviewed a film that's going to get me, it's going to blow up. I can feel everybody's waiting. They're waiting for me to say it. What film did I review? What film was it? I watched Barbed Wire. Yes. I watched Pamela Anderson's Barbed Wire. I'm John Stark, MacTheMovieGuy.com. I'm a blind film critic, and I chose selectively in the year 2022 to watch Barbed Wire. Now, mind you, I'm a blind film critic. So the reason everybody went to see this film in the first place, to stare at Pamela Anderson and pray for nudity, the only reason I think anybody showed up to this, I didn't get that experience. I literally got to enjoy just their acting and the plot of this film. I just had to analyze that. I wasn't there to ogle and to stare and to be like, oh, Pamela Anderson, oh my God, she's so hot. I had to actually sit through this dialogue and sit through this film that is totally set up 100% to objectify women. I'm surprised. Like I was watching. I'll be interested. I'll say I was interested in this film because of Pam and Tommy, the thing that was on Hulu, and because they did that whole thing where Barbed Wire came out, and she thought this was gonna like make her career, and she took this seriously. I'm like, did you not read this script? This script, like, there are scenes where, like, one of the girls, like, they get in trouble, and every time they get in trouble and they, like, get hurt or something, they all moan, but they have to, like, porn moan. Like, they don't moan like they're ever injured. They all moan like, they're like, ah. And it's like, no, that's not an injury moan. Like, what is that? That is not what that is. Why? How do you guys not know that this film is what it is? What this is borderline. If this film could have been allowed by the studio to be released NC-17, I'm sure they would have gone for it. I'm sure they would have allowed an unrated or whatever cut of this film that could have possibly been allowed for release. There's so many scenes where it talks about Pamela taking like a shower, changing behind a curtain. She's in a towel like twice in the film. One time she drops the towel and stands there. I don't know if that was a nude scene. The narrator thankfully wasn't like rude and just describing and being like, Pamela Anderson drops the towel. Oh my God. It wasn't just he just kept narrating like a pro. Yeah, it's the whole thing was just there's nothing really surprising. I love it that it's set in 2017. So like we're 5 years into this apocalyptic nightmare that was envisioned for Barbed Wire, where we're like in the second Civil War and there's only like one neutral city and it's the one that Barbed Wire lives in. And like the world is split between, you know, this new government that's formed and these the people that are fighting back against it and all this weird stuff that's happening. And just there's a blind character in this, and he just, I don't know, just doesn't really offer much to the film, and to be fair, nobody in this film offers much to the film. It's not a film to offer anything to. We've got Tamara Morrison in it, who played the Fets, the clones in Star Wars Episode 2. Later, he got that lovely role to make himself famous. But I'm sure after Barbed Wire, he was like, fuck, nobody's ever going to give me anything good ever again. And then he got lucky. Xander Berkeley's in this because Xander Berkeley's in like everything. So why wouldn't he be in this? Yeah, it's just this film is out there. Udo Kier, because you know, of course, he's got a great taste in films. He's never done a bad film before. Now, the one thing that I will say, I'm gonna flip this around, and I'm gonna blow your guys' minds. I'm gonna actually argue for this movie. I'm gonna turn. I am. I'm gonna go pro barbed wire on this. I actually think this is one of those cases where the film is so bad it's good. I actually think we've reached the point of good bad cinema. And I think everybody wrote it off because in the 90s, sometimes when a film comes out right away, it's really hard to analyze. Is this a good bad film? Like, is this the kind of film that's campy enough that when you watch it, it's kind of entertaining? It's so bad it's good. And we find those films like later on down the road, and we come back to them and we're like, oof, this was rough, but man, this is fun to watch now. Like there's a huge cult following for Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That film was terrible. I remember seeing that in theaters and being like, what is happening? I mean, they like recast people. Like Johnny Cage dies in like the first like 2 seconds of the film. It was just like the visual effects looked like they were literally from the video game. It's just so, but now you look back on it and you're like, whoa, this is fun, terrible. And I think that's what Barbed Wire is. I had fun with it. I love that Pamela Anderson says every single line with the same level of disdain. Like, she sounds like you've had like a fight with your toddler, and like, and like the whole conversation is like, well, I hope you've had time to think about it. Well, I haven't. I'm gonna go get some ice cream. You want to come and get some ice cream with me? If you want to get some ice cream, fine. I mean, I'm not gonna get ice cream, but you know, you can get ice cream. Stupid ice cream. It's just like, she's just like everything in the film. She's just so like against, or she finds a way to be against it. She's not really like an endearing personality. She's kind of great. She reads every line with the exact same sort of like, why am I here? Why am I being bothered to do this? But it kind of works in a weird way, because the film is just so bizarre. It's such a bizarre film. There's a scene where they like shoot up the bar, and they like literally shoot up the bar. Like this government comes in because they're trying to find these little tiny contact lenses. So they like destroy her bar. And I mean like destroy. They're like smashing everything. They're shooting beer barrels. They're not really looking for anything because nobody ever actually looks for anything. But the guy's like, we're looking for it. And it's like, nobody ever actually looked for it. And even if you did, you're just making your life harder because you're smashing things into smaller pieces. You're looking for contact lenses, which are small. So if you take all the larger things and make them smaller, you're going to make your life harder. There's a lot of things. There's a girl with a voice box on her neck. And the voice doesn't even sound like a voice box. It just sounds like she re-recorded her voice and they dubbed it over to make it sound like a voice box. It's there's a fat guy that sits in like a dumpster or a bulldozer or something. This film is kind of cheesily awesome. I kind of felt that way because I saw Howard the Duck years later, and I knew it was bad. Like I'd heard all the things about Howard the Duck, but when I watched Howard the Duck, I laughed. Not for all the right reasons, but I laughed. I enjoyed it. And I still would, like, there are films that are bad and I never want to see again because they give me no enjoyment. But I actually think Barbed Wire might be one of the ones that actually gave me some level of enjoyment. I think it's more like a Howard the Duck. Yeah, so I'm not going to give this as low of a grade as you may think I'm going to give it. Because it actually like hit F and then like rebounded. It was like, oh, this film is terrible. Whoa, it's fun. That was the roller coaster I was on today. So yeah, by the end of the film, I actually was mildly entertained by just the audacity, the audacity of this film, I should say. So if you get a chance to watch Barbed Wire with audio description, or just whatever, just at any point in your life, I wouldn't turn it down. If you haven't seen it, I think it's an interesting exploration into what we thought was cool in the 90s. We were like, ooh, what if we just put Pamela Anderson in this thing? It did make me really think, because I know she got turned down for Austin Powers. I think that was the wrong call. I think she should have been in an Austin Powers film. I think she was totally right for that. I was sitting here listening to her Barbed Wire performance, and Heather Graham is not a great actress. And there's nothing in Spy Who Shagged Me that Pamela Anderson couldn't have pulled off. And probably done it better and looked more like a Bond girl. I mean, Pamela's got that's why people cast her in things, is because of her physicality. And it might have actually helped her career and moved her in a positive direction. So, yeah, I'll say it. I think she probably should have replaced Heather Graham in The Spy Who Shagged Me. I think Elizabeth Hurley is a better actress, marginally. I'm not going to say she's a great actress, but I do think Elizabeth Hurley is a better actress. But I don't think Heather Graham's that great. Sorry, Heather Graham fans. Unfortunately, I had to sit through Say It Isn't So. So, yeah. Well, that's my Barbed Wire review. Sorry this killed Pamela Anderson's career. It probably shouldn't have. People probably should have just looked at this and realized, hey, let's try something else. Let's try her in something else where let's go comedy with this and see what happens. Because people are laughing anyway, so why don't we just go ahead and play into the comedy, you know? Anyway, the film The Time Forgot, Barbed Wire. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give Barbed Wire a C-. I'm still acknowledging that it's not a good film, but I enjoyed it enough to give it a C-. That's what it is. It rebounded. It actually bounced back up. I would rather watch Barbed Wire than a couple hundred films that I've ranked D or F. Yeah, I would. And it wasn't even for the visuals. It was just, seriously, the film was just entertainingly bad. And all the cheesy reasons. And not even a lot of them were for Pamela Anderson. And for people who think this was all her fault, it isn't. And if you think that you should definitely watch this film, because you'll see that the film shaped around her is incompetent. It's not her. It really just is not only her. It's not like the film around her is amazing and then she's bringing it down with terrible acting. The film around her is terrible. And if anything, she makes it interesting with her specific way of delivering all of the lines with the same exact, like, why the fuck am I here? It's like, anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. I hope this blows up my channel. I hope it does. I know everyone's looking for a review of Barbed Wire. By the way, I'm kidding. I know no one's going to watch this, especially this deep into the video. So when I say like and subscribe, good luck with that. No one's going to watch it. No, none. I will get 0 likes on this, except maybe my own. My website is macthemovieguy.com. The audio description project, that's adp.acp, acb, not ACP, adb.acp.org. I feel like I'm slipping up on that last word. If you don't understand, you'll figure it out. And then theadna.org is where you can look up narrators. So that's it for Barbed Wire. Yeah, this is behind me. I've seen it. It happened. And I don't regret it. Maybe a little, but not totally.